Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be taking you on a journey to learn computer hardware maintenance. Kindly stay with us. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, students and the listener. Today we are going to another topic, and last week we uh, discussed on the objective, identifying and understanding the functions of the motherboard and CPU. We were able to capture the um, functions, and we were able to identify the motherboard and the CPU. We look at both as one, and we also look at them separately. Why do we look at them as one? Is that I, as I said then last week, that the processor, the CPU, the processor, which is also known as the CPU, and the motherboard, they bring them together as one in the modern day system or this generation system that we are in now. Any system of big or high, 7 and up, right from Core i3. Core i3, there are some embedded processor on the motherboard, and even i5, i7, and the i9. They embed the microprocessor or the CPU on the motherboard. So you cannot differentiate the two. So it's now two in one. Unlike before, where you can actually separate the processor or the CPU from the motherboard, where you have to remove the processor and install. But then but now they put them as one. Then we able to even evaluate ourselves based on that. We look into it, and I also throw questions to us, and we're able to answer vividly. But today we are moving to assembly and disassembly of computer system, which is of PC. So we are going straight away into it. Are we going to, they say, okay, assembly, disassembly. Okay, we want to disassembly now. We should have a particular steps and tools we need that must be in place. First, as I said we need screwdriver, which is so important. And we also need the flat edge phone too. It's very important. And we also need paste. I made mention of thermal paste. This is the thermal paste. It's very important. Is a coolant, so it's very important. We also need brush, as the case is. Why is when you are disassembling, there is every possibility, no matter how clean the environment may be, you will still find dust in your system, which is so sure. No matter how ventilated the environment may be, you will still, the only thing you can do is to make sure you reduce it as much as possible. That is why once a while, when we get to where we do maintenance, we get to know once a while you need to look into it. Don't say because the system is functioning, you still need to observe some certain things so that the system will not disappoint you when you need it the most. But we should not divert. So you need all these tools because they are relevant to the work. Then we are moving bit by bit. We are going to disassembly. Once you have all these tools, then these steps is very important. What is the step we are going to take here? The step is just a guiding step. It is not compulsory you follow the steps, but it is a guiding step. The first thing is, this is your CPU. Open case, and we are able to look at that. We have the casing, which is the cover, which is a body. just like human body where we have skeleton. Then when you remove the body, you also have the CPU and the motherboard, which is the skeleton too. So when you open the casing, then you find a way to what remove the processor. How do you remove the processor? It has its own guide too. You remove the coolant, you remove the coolant on it. Once you remove the fan, there are some processor they will have fan. After the fan, then they will have the coolant, then they will now have the processor. You have to take them one after the other. Once you find a way to remove the fan, remove the coolant, then remove the processor. But the first thing is for you to look at the way to remove the casing, then followed by removing the processor. And I told you have to follow this. Find the way to remove the fan. They are mount with screws. That's why you need screwdriver to lose out the screws. Then you find a way to remove the processor. After that, you look at the card, the slot, the PCI slot. I said we have the PCI, we have the AGP. The PCI, which is peripheral interconnect component. So you need to use whatever card is on the word PCI. Remove it so that it will allow the board to come out itself. Then you can now what? Remove other components such as the storage or the hard disk. So we are going to follow this step one after the other. The same way the step you use to disassemble, the same way the step you are going to use to assemble. The disassembly simply means we remove the components one after the other. You have to take it one, otherwise you may cause another thing or havoc on the system or the CPU. So what is the step? Meanwhile, we already have all this. Make sure you disconnect whatever device is connected to the CPU, be it the power cord, be it what we have mentioned before, the VGA, be it USB, so that you will not damage them, be it the LAN cable, be it the wireless which is connected on the PCI. Find a way to remove every component installed on it. Then let's go. And be careful of the power pack, which is the power components of it. Then we'll start. Unscrew this, put it on the flat table, remove it gently. So this is it. We take the step one after the other. This is the drive, which is the permanent storage device. Remove it gently and bring out normally what they do to the hard drive is they have hooks. So you have to make sure you press it so that the hook will release the hard drive for you. Then lose it, remove every component connected on the CPU, on the motherboard, like the power. You have to remove the power. Having removed this, then disconnect every supply of the power pack, where the power pack supply. Try to remove them so that it will create a kind of a free flow affair. Remove this. It has a button you have to press, like a knob. You have to press. Especially remove everything. So this is the switch that connects. This is the USB extension port where the external USB on the casing is connected. Can you see? Then find way to remove this. This is the audio for the audio because we have the audio, and this is the speaker for the speaker, and this is for the power. Find somewhere and put them because it is very important. Then every other connected devices, do them gently, remove them one after the other, one after the other, then one after the other. You can see a fan tree is connected to the motherboard, another fan, so as to assist or help the e-zinker, which is the coolant. Though we have a thermal paste under, which is also called a coolant. Then this is the auxiliary power supply, which allows the power to flow into the motherboard. Then this is the motherboard. Remove any extended card. Gently lose this out. It is a key for the card. This is the network card, and this is the fan for this fan. Then, as we can see, we lose out the processor. We lose out the easy. We gently. Can you see? Look at this. You need to wipe these off and you clean the surface. Okay, look at this. You clean the surface. Why do we actually have to clean it? Because we are applying a new paste that will support the work of the processor. And why we need brush? I said it earlier that we are going to need brush. You see that we need to dust off. So you can see that we have actually, so in a nutshell, we have disassembled every component connected to the motherboard. Such components are, I still repeat or recap, the power part, which is the power supply unit. We have the CD-ROM, as you can see, which allows us to duplicate or to burn whatever we have as data into either compact disc or DVD disc. So we have memory, which is also, this is called memory. And we have other memory too, which are installed. And we have memories as well, which are what? The memory are in sizes. The memory, the ranges in sizes, right from the size, from the 120 megabytes, if I could recall, 120 megabytes, because we have different classes of memory now. We are using the DDR, which is we have DDR1, R2, R3, and the new or the latest one, R4. They have different sizes or in speed, which is measured in megahertz. We have uh, uh, we have 128 gig, we have 64 gig, we have 128 gig, no, sorry, we have 64 megabytes because the calculation starts from bits to bytes to kilobytes to megabytes to gigabytes and to terabytes and to nanobytes. So you can see how it goes. The sizes in the early age, they start with megabytes. Maybe then when you have 64 megabytes, it might be your system will be as fast. But now due to graphics and a lot of things incorporated into the systems or into the software, be it operating software or application software. Due to that, there is demand for more speedy memories. Now, from 128 MB to 256 megabyte to 512 megabyte to 1000, which is 1000 megabyte, approximately 1 gig. It should be 1024, but approximately it is 1000. So they call it 1 gig. You now have 1 gig, 2 gig, 4 gig, 8 gig, 16 gig, 32 gig. And we might have the more, like 128 gig. The same thing goes for the hard disk, which is a permanent storage. They have this capacity, the capacity of this hard drive. They also they have the bits, which is 0 and 1, to bytes, which is 8 of the bits makes a byte. Then we have kilobytes, which is 1000 in 1024 of bytes, that makes 1 kilobyte, although it's supposed to be one kilobyte with 24 bytes, but it's approximated and it's what 1 byte. Then 1 byte to megabyte, which is 1000 bytes or 1024 bytes to 1 kilobyte. Then 1024 kilobytes to 1 megabyte approximately. Then 1024 megabytes to 1 gigabyte. And 1024 gigabytes to what? 1 terabyte. 1024 terabytes to nano. You can see this continues. So when you have a particular space, you should know the capacity that the space can withstand. That's the essence of the space that I've just given. So that you know that they have variances. They are not all the same. Once they mention, hey, it's 40 gig, you should know that 40 gig means that 40 gig approximately is 40,000 megabytes. 40,000 megabytes equivalent to 40 gig. You should know. So if you have any capacity that is of calculated in bytes, you should know that yes, I should be able to have 40, like 40,000 of it, which will now give me 40 gig. So that's for that. Then there are times they use, this is a graphics, a VGA port, but at times demand might warrant it that you need an higher size of this due to your feed. Higher size of what? VGA or graphics, as the case may be. So in that case, you have to go for a card which is called VGA card. VGA card determines the resolution of your output in terms of screen display, as the case may be. At times, some people will tell me that, see, I would design a color that would be yellow, and at the end of the day, when I print, I discover that the color is not giving me the actual yellow. And I told whoever that the problem is the what? Your graphics, which is your GUP, graphics unit peripheral. So as the case may be, what usually happen there is that it sends whatever the capacity can carry into the display unit, and what you are going to see may be differ from the real one. But if you are now sure, if you now go for an higher card, it will give you exactly what you need. In the production line, this can cause a lot of damages if there is any differences in whatever you design. The customer may not go for it, no matter how much involves, because they will maintain their color, they will maintain their logo, they will maintain their design. And means you are giving them what is different from what they actually need, which might go in the other way on your side. So in that case, know your field, know what your need is, know what your target or your customers needs, so that you will not always fall on the other side. Okay, we are done with this. Remove the processor. This is a socket processor, and this is a socket port. We have disassembled this CPU. Then we also have other components such as what? We have battery. This is called a small battery. This battery allows the default helps the BIOS. We said it initially. It helps to save the information kept in the BIOS, which is the basic input output system. Whatever information is stored there, it helps us to keep the information. And it also helps the users too. If you set your date and time, it helps you to make sure that the date and time is promptly set. Once it's removed, your date and time may be what? Stabilize, will not be inaccurate. So it has to be, and you have to test it. Once the power is 3 point, then the voltage is okay. 3.33 plus, the voltage is okay. But once it's falling 2 point, you know the battery is getting to its late age and needs to be replaced. So that's for the battery. Now, this you can see this is the motherboard in a plain term. The CPU is removed from the motherboard. We have totally disassembled this. Then we have removed everything now. Can we see? So you can see the chips. These are the chips that are on the motherboard. This is the slot, which is the memory slot. And this is the processor socket. Do not touch the pins. If a pin out of this pin, either uh, by mistake, you remove one, or one is not in line, can affect the function of the CPU. So you have to be careful. And we have the capacitor, and we have the inductor coil. So you can see them, and we have these pins. Look at this sound pin. I told you then that the sound, which is the audio speaker, is connected to this, and we also have this, which is connected to the external USB. The USB on what? On the casing. Likewise, we have different components on it, such as this. You can see the PCI slot, as we have it. This is the one for the VGA card. All you need to do is just remove one of these and you put the card, such as this. This is the card. Put the card. Let us move closer to it. When you connect your card. That's the card. Once you have connected that, you can cover it. Now we have done the disassembling of the system, where you can see every part is important. I can just give a brief functions of each of the parts. This is the power pack. The power pack supplies the actual voltage needed for the motherboard. And the reason for the power pack is to make sure it converts whatever voltage to the one the board can actually use. Because we can't use a direct volt for the board. It has its own um, volt, which must actually be converted to by the power pack. Once you send signal of 230 or 220 to the power pack will convert it and send the required volt to the board, to the motherboard. Then the motherboard will also send both data in form of signal and power required by any attached component to them. So we have this SATA cable. This is a SATA cable, as you can see. This is a SATA cable, and this is, we have said it before, this is the E-zinker. The E-zinker absorbs the heat. You can see there is what? Dust on the E-zinker because it absorbs heat. Then we have the processor. This is the microprocessor. As you can see, on the microprocessor, I do not touch the surface. The surface, because it's the interaction between these and the pins. They have the communication, there must be a sharp communication between them. Otherwise, there will be disengagement in the work of, and that can lead, well, we'll soon get there. Under maintenance, we'll know more about that before we now get to the troubleshooting. Because once there is no good communication, that will affect the signal. Either the system trip off and come up by itself or hangs suddenly. So you start to witness such if care is not taken. So in a nutshell, we have explained the processor and the use, how good the processor is. A good processor will always work without hanging or without hanging. It works smoothly for you, but it has to be kept in a good condition. What do I mean? Paste has to be applied on the processor before you now put, which is a coolant, before you now put this, which is E-zinker. Then we are done with this, and I'm able to talk the RAM. Do not forget the last time I told you, and I keep saying it, the RAM is the volatile memory because it holds a temporal storage. Once the light goes off, it also stops working. That is the work of the RAM. And the cooling fan, the work of the cooling fan is to make sure it blows out heat. You observe in your laptops, just come on to laptops, it blows heat out. You feel that something warmer is coming out of your system. It's normal. But when it's not blowing anything out, you should know that there is a problem somewhere. So we are done with the assembling of this CPU. Then we'll assemble it back one after the other. Let's go. The processor, as I said earlier, you look at the joints, this part and the other part. And you look on your system too. The parts are there, here and here, so that you will not connect it wrongly. Make sure you don't touch that surface, as I've said. Put it gently and it sits. You don't have to force it. A little push will do it to sit. Then you close this and you apply this and clip it. It's clipped like that. Then the next for you is to apply this coolant, which is what? Thermal paste. You put little content of the paste. Don't put too much. Little of it will do. Cover it back. Then haven't brush the okay. This is it. You put it. You don't have to force anything. Once you put and it sees, if it does not sit, you can check because the two side is not stating on how what direction. Though there is a direction here, you look at the direction. The direction is telling you. So always observe instructions. At times the instructions are key. They will tell you which way to go, and do not force. That is so important. Don't use force. That this thing you must enter. No, not like that. It has to sit. Then you scroll it back. So you scroll it. You scroll it. So it's done. Then you put, if you are using a graphics card, put the graphics card. Then you can clip. This is a network card. And at times you may need more of this port, any of the ports. At times when this port, which is known as LAN ports or USB ports, are not enough, maybe they are not enough, or you want an updated USB because we have this USB 2.0, you can still use USB 2.5 card. If you are not okay with this or this VGA, maybe when we get to the troubleshooting, we'll talk more on that. If this VGA is not working, you can use the card VGA, or you go for, that is a VGA graphics card. So the purpose of this expansion slot is for that. Then we move one after the other. You connect the fan. Look at where they are connected so that you know where exactly. So you can see, you look at it, it's connected under here. That's why you need is under here. So you put it. Then you look at the next thing to connect. The power. We disconnected the power. Do you remember? This is the power. You connect the power back. It's connected. Then you look at the auxiliary, the power connection auxiliary. You see it? You connect it back. Then look at the memory port. The memory port, or the memory slot rather. The memory slot, this is a slot, it's not socket. So the memory slot, make sure you clean the memory slot very well. Make sure you clean the memory slot very well. When we get to the troubleshooting, we'll learn more about the memory and the port. What happens if the port is not well cleaned? Done. Then the memory. Also clean the memory gently. Then you look at how to input or insert the memory. You don't force it. It's key. Avoid putting your hands on this surface. Done. The next, you say, I did not force it. I realized it's not sitting well, so I have to change it. I didn't force it, then it's sitting well. Then we move to the next. Having done that, you connect every peripheral. The hard drive, which you have removed, it has the data connection and it has the power connection. So you need to note that it's so important. Wow, before that, I said this, you are going to take it one after the other. You see that when you connect one, it will not affect the other. So I have to put all these before putting the drive, because if I connect the drive, I may not be able to see the path for the whole connections. So as you can see, you take them one after the other. In fact, you discover that they have colors on the motherboard. Each of these elements that are to be connected has color code. The pins has code and color that you have to connect to them so that you will not make mistake. We have blue here. There is blue under the pin. We have the yellow. There is yellow under the pin, and we have the one that is black. There is black under the pin, which makes it so easier. So you connect this. You look at the pin too. This is pin. This one, two. The third one is block. Then we have one, two. So you look into it. So one, two, block, one, two, which means it will go in like this. It's connected. Then the next is blue. Look out for the blue, which is this. See the block. One block, then one block. So it will go in like this. Then look at this speaker. The way it will go in, to go like this. So then the yellow goes the yellow. Yes, we are done with that. Then we can go for the hard drive, which is the permanent storage device. Do not forget the hard drive that we have the modern hard drive now, which is called the SSD. Are we together? Yes, we are. Just keep him like that. So look at this. This one has its own connector. This one, this one. It is using 2 ohm. Then the 2 ohm should also go. You connect power to the ohm. Then we have this. Look on the board. We have the SATA connector or SATA port where the SATA cable will be what connected to. Okay, this is the SATA cable for the hard drive, and this is the power for the hard drive too. So you look at the mouth where to connect it, you connect it appropriately. You look at where to connect it appropriately. Then you connect to the motherboard. Okay, use this side. I hope we are together. Yes, we have. I've connected the whole, then the fan. We connected this fan, but we are yet to connect the fan. We take it a step after the other. Believe me, one step will reveal the next step. Okay, look at it. Everything has been connected now. We connect them one after the other, connecting the power pack. We connect this fan. We connect you connect whatever is to be connected to the expansion slot. Then you clip it out. Then you input the processor and you put what the thermal paste, which is you put the paste and you put the heat zinc and you connect your cooling fan. Then there is no part that is useless. I told you then that why they actually call it system is because different peripheral works to achieve the same goals. Different peripheral components works to achieve the same goals. Okay, that's good. They are well connected now. Then do not forget the cover. The cover. Why do you need to cover it? So as in case to prevent dust, the cover is essential. Then the bolt. That is the CPU. In a nutshell, we are able to disassemble and reassemble our CPU. You can see, we said at the end of this class, we should be able to what? Assemble and disassemble our CPU, which takes step by step, step. So do not forget how to do this is step by step. So we will call it a day. So the next edition will be next week by the grace of God. I hope you are following me. You must have increased in knowledge, learned a lot out of what I have mentioned, come across a lot of challenges. By now, it will be clearer to you, and by now, you will understand how to assemble and disassemble a computer system. In a nutshell, we have covered full assembling and disassembling of PC. Therefore, next week we take on another topic by the grace of God. We say good day to everybody.